Davis, will you come in, please?
Yes, Mr. Murray, I'll be right in.
Here, read this.
What's the matter with it?
That price quotation, it's wrong.
Oh, I see.
If I hadn't caught it, that error would have cost us $300.
Well, let me find out who typed this.
Wait a minute. That's not the only reason I brought you in here. I want to know what's happened to our stenographic department. That's not the first error. I've been getting them for weeks. Their work is getting sloppier and sloppier. It's full of erasures. The general appearance is simply disgraceful. I look at that. I'd be ashamed to sign my name to a letter like that.
I'm sorry, Mr. Murray. I didn't realize things were this bad. I'll try to find out what the trouble is. And they're bound to make errors.
All right. We'll hire another girl, but remember, if these two curves cross, both of us better start looking for other jobs.
Well, I'll go and call the employment agencies.
All right. You find anybody who seems right, bring her in, let me have a talk with her.
Yes, sir. I'm very sorry, but we really need someone with more experience.
That's all.
Are all the girls as inexperienced as the ones I've seen?
I don't know, Mr.
Well, try another appointment.
Now, let's look at it this way. It costs you about $2,500 a year in salary, rent, supplies, and equipment to operate one typing station.
That's right.
An electroconomy typewriter, amortized over a 5-year period, amounts to just a little more than 3% annually of the total investment in a typing station. Now, with electroconomy, it's possible to increase the production of that station by 10, 20, or even 50%.
Why?
Well, chiefly because the electroconomy typewriter requires much less effort to operate. Well, this results in greater speed for longer periods, fewer errors, and better operator morale. Her name is Miss
Cranston.
Now, Miss Cranston, how about carbons?
Well, sometimes I need as many as 12.
That means 2 typing.
Naturally.
And hectograph masters?
A few.
Stencils?
Occasionally.
I wonder if I could have samples of them.
Certainly.
Now, let's see. Correspondence 70%, tabulation 10%, forms 10%, cards 10%. Is that right?
That's right.
Thank you. I'll have your electroconomy typewriter in the morning. carriage construction means clean, sharp impressions and good alignment. And that, gentlemen, covers the features which make for neater work and better carpets.
Thank you, Mr. Barnes. It's been very interesting.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure. Now, Miss Cranston, there are some operating points that I would like to explain to you.
I'm waiting.
You saw how the starting switch operates.
Like this?
That's right. Now, here's a feature which simplifies the business of cutting stencils. You have 4 positions for your ribbon. Now that you've had time to get acquainted with your electroeconomy typewriter, Miss Cranston, I wonder if you'd mind answering a few questions about it.
I'd be glad to.
First, was the transition accomplished easily?
Yes, quite easily.
And do you think that the standard keyboard helped to make the transition easy?
Certainly. It would have been dreadful if it hadn't been standard.
And now, one final question. Were you able to estimate how much more work you could do with this machine?
Well, frankly, Mr. Barnes, I wasn't. All I know is that I got through my work faster. And I felt a lot better at the end of the day, too. I certainly did remember you at 5 o'clock.
Well, thank you. I hope you'll continue to have occasion to remember.
I hope so, too.
Mr. Murray, this is what your secretary thinks of the electroeconomy typewriter.
It is, eh? Well, on the whole, I'd be inclined to agree with it.
You would?
I've noticed the improved appearance of the work. I don't mind telling you that it's a pleasure to sign my name to a letter like that.
Well, good. I'll be glad to leave the machine right here. You can have the benefit of it from now on.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Murray. Now, wouldn't it be a greater pleasure if the work of your whole office looked like that?
It would, but I'm afraid I can't afford that.
You know, it's in the stenographic tool where even further economies of electric typing become apparent.
The only economy I'm interested in now is not to spend any more money than I have. Now with this one machine, at least I can be sure to get decent work done when I need it. More than that,
well, supposing I make an analysis of each of the typing stations in all of your offices.
afraid it won't do you any good.
All right. It'll do you some good. It'll give you exact information on the age doing, and whether it should continue doing that work or be moved to another job. Now, that would be valuable information for your file, wouldn't it?
It would. No obligation implied?
No obligation.
Well, in that case...
Now, are there any mechanical functions which don't seem to work very well?
Yes, sometimes the ribbon doesn't reverse.
Let's take a look at it. Anything else?
Sometimes the space bar skips 2 spaces.
That's all?
All I can think of.
Then your work is about 30% correspondence, 30% forms, and what else?
Well, billing.
May I see a sample of the form?
Sure. Here,
Oh, yes. And what percent of your work is billing?
50%.
Hey, wait a minute, that's too many percent.
Okay, just give me what's left.
All right. Mr. Murray, I've assembled our findings on all of your typing stations into one detailed report.
Yes, thank you.
Here you'll find our recommendations covering your stenographic pool. You'll notice we've suggested the 10-key decimal tabulator for the girl who does so much billing.
I'll keep them for reference.
I hope they'll be of use to you. Thank you again for your cooperation. And incidentally, for your needs, we have no reason to recommend anything but the right machine. You see, we make them all.